So it's about 5:30 in the morning, and it's pretty common that around this time I am fully awake, but I can't get up because Loki still needs a lot of attention in order to fall back asleep. And he'll do this thing where he'll wake up, but he's not done sleeping yet, and he wants to go back to sleep. But he needs pretty frequent attention from me to stay asleep, which means he gets to sleep, I don't. So usually that starts around 4 or 5 in the morning. So I'm trying to figure out ways to kind of combat the whole trapped feeling that I get with that, because I spend time holding space for him while he initially falls asleep, and then I am waking up with him throughout the night, about it varies on the night, but approximately every half hour, 45 minutes-ish. And then 4 or 5 in the morning, then it's like done sleeping. And there's just this period where it's like I'm so desperate to sleep, but it's not an option, and I can't get up, and no one else can help with Loki during this time period. And I'm just trying to find ways to not make it feel like a chore to just lay here in bed torturously awake. In the past I've done things like watching Netflix helps, but there's kind of a limit. Loki doesn't tolerate light very well. He gets really interested in what's going on, and it seems to kind of depend on the night. Some nights I can get away with it, and other nights I can't. But as it slowly gets lighter in here, then I will have more options to use my phone. Right now it's still so dark that the light would really catch his attention. So much of the time I'm just like laying here, and I'm like actively trying to not resent him, because every minute is like me trying to keep my restlessness down, because it wakes him up when I move around, and I'm just like, I want to move, I want to get out of bed, I want to do things, or I want to sleep. Like, I want to do one or the other. The last thing I want to do is just lay here doing, essentially nothing. It feels like nothing, but of course what I am doing is I'm parenting, and sometimes this is what parenting looks like. I just don't have a good solution for this part yet, but I figured let's at least share it. I have so many video ideas running through my head since I shared that I have a goal to get off of welfare by the end of next year, and there's so much I want to share. It's like this traffic jam inside my head, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to manage to share it all. But I don't think I want to do that right now. I kind of want to keep this space when I'm laying in bed with Loki, focus more on him. But I just wanted to mention how excited I am about it. In the past, a lot of my focus on money has been focused on survival. And now I'm starting to learn that I can be more focused on the fun aspects of earning money. And, as someone who's healing from a pretty severe case of complex PTSD, that's new to me. A lot of the more fun aspects of life are new to me. And I want to get better at seeing parenting that way as well. There are a lot of fun aspects of parenting, and that's why I try to record so many of his super adorable moments, because that's what I want to stick in my head, and that's what I want to look back on. And these mornings where I'm just wishing that I was doing anything other than this right now. Those, I don't think I'm going to remember these. I think I'm going to remember him breathing peacefully next to me right now. And the way he reaches for me in the dark. He'll stick out a foot. He'll flop out an arm to make sure I'm still there. And it's funny because you can either be like, oh, that's so sweet, that's so natural, it's what better to be there to comfort him. Or you can be from the perspective of that's created such a dependency. What were you thinking, allowing that for so long? Because now it's a habit, and you either need to maintain it or you need to break that habit, and that will be hard on him. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm maintaining it. And I want to explain for people who, especially for people who don't have kids, it's never a thing of I don't want to be close to my kid. It's never a thing of I don't want my kid to seek me for comfort. It's just that it's hard to describe how extremely demanding and draining it can be, to the point where no human can possibly want that much touch and that much neediness directed at them. So for example, the other night I managed to make dinner. I made dinner while Lim and our housemate and friend, they were both watching Loki, and we had to section off the living room with a curtain and a baby gate in order for Loki not to be crying all the time with me not there. He still wanted to be near me, but sectioned off, he tolerates it sometimes a little bit better. So I'm making dinner, and I'm hearing him periodically crying for me and reminding myself that he's in good hands and he's fine. And I finally finished dinner, and I eat a few bites of it. And I eat some of it before I tell everyone, hey, dinner's ready, because I've learned. And then I try to join them with my dinner. And Loki is immediately crying. The second he sees me, he wants me to pick him up. And then he does not want me eating. He wants to be on my lap, having my full attention, me interacting with him. He wants to push my food off me. He's really feeling starved for attention. And so I start giving him my full attention. And I do not get the chance to have even literally a minute to myself until after midnight. It's just a minute-to-minute thing where he needed me so badly. I literally couldn't even poop without having him sitting on my lap because I tried to set him down on the floor, and it's like, look, mom's just going potty. It's okay. I'm right here. And he's just heartbroken, and like my ideal is always to like emotionally fill him up. I don't believe that attention seeking is a bad thing during the younger years especially, but kind of any time, when someone's seeking attention, they are seeking love and care and confirmation that they matter, especially that they matter to you. And so when Loki is indicating that he needs to feel that full attention from me, I want to give him all the attention in the world. Like, that is my ideal. That's what I feel is healthy. Yes, there's times that I can't do it fully, and that he has to get used to that, but I really want him to feel the impression that mom's there for me, mom cares, mom wants to be close to me. I want him to feel those things, and it's really exhausting when it's been 3 hours straight where I can't even check my phone. I can't even do a little Facebook scroll here on the side. I can't set him down. There's, 3 hours is nothing. There's been days when it's like a good 6-8 hours, and like every muscle is just aching because I do not want to be touched anymore. He just craves touch so much, and I'm just like, there's been times he approaches me again and I literally just curl up in a fetal position and moan because I can't handle it. And thankfully, Lim is able to rescue me from a lot of those. And I feel like a terrible parent when that happens, because I want to just be this like unending fountain of love and care and attention and comfort and all of those good things, Play. Lim is so much better at play than I am, but I'm learning. I swear, as Loki gets older, Lim is going to be his favorite. Just a hunch, but currently I'm his favorite, and I think that's mainly because it's really hard to beat nursing as the ultimate comfort. And being a toddler is hard. He's got teeth coming in that are painful, and the world is real confusing as he's growing, and so comfort is really big. So I feel like a bad parent in those moments. Intellectually, I know that everyone has those moments, and I don't know, before I became a parent, again, this is going to sound really bad, but before I became a parent, I had some judgment. Okay, I had a lot of judgment towards parents that were struggling around their kids, that had resentment, or we're feeling all touched out and we're just like, I can't handle being touched anymore. I would feel sorry for their kids. So I'd be like, oh man, like, you have to endure that attitude. But what I didn't realize is that parents don't throw that attitude at their kids, though. That's the thing. So we spend every moment, or maybe I should just speak for myself, I spend every moment with Loki just treasuring him. And even when it's a struggle, even when it's like, man, it's all I can do to keep my eyes open right now, the last thing I want to do is exert a bunch of energy to like get all excited and happy about what you're doing. And it is so hard. But then I just, in those moments, I just try to tune in to him in that moment. And I just see things from his perspective. How he's, yesterday he wanted to just take his little balance bike, which he does not know how to ride. He wants to push it from the handlebars, from the front facing the back. He wants to push the handlebars because he sees it as like some sort of a stroller. That's what he's comparing it to. So he wants to push the bars, and of course that means this little tiny balance bike is gonna go any kind of which way, and that confuses him because unlike a stroller, it doesn't go a straight line. But yesterday he wanted to pull it over kind of this little bump at the end of our cement walkway where it ends. And one thing about Loki is that if he's confused by why something is difficult, he'll really hone in on it. He'll pay really close attention to it. So he noticed that he couldn't just easily pull his bike back up over this little bump in the concrete step. And so first of all, he yells. He just like yells because he's getting frustrated and he needs help. And so I help him. And I'm like, hey, look, see, like, if you turn around, you can do this, And I'm like, great, he's helped. I can like zone out again while he plays with it around my yard. But no, that's not how it works. See, because he's like, wait a minute, I need to learn how to do this thing. I want to learn how to do this thing. And so, I can't just zone out because then a few seconds later, he's yelling again. And it's like this, like, and he's looking to me for help while trying to do it and like banging it against the ground because he's frustrated. And I'm like, uh-oh, this is going to become a thing. So I try to show him, like, look, you can just go around it. And that doesn't work. And I show him you can lift your bike up and go over it. And that doesn't work. And I'm just like, come on, move on already. I'm trying to, like, distract him with other things. I'm like, look, you can ride it over here. And I, like, transfer him to the other side of our front yard in hopes that he'll like just have fun over there and I can just like sit and like have a little breather while I watch him. But nope, he goes right back to the end of our walkway. And I mean, there's just like, it's like little 2 inches of height. It's not even a step. And he is so focused on figuring it out. And, a part of me is really proud of him because, like, way to stick with trying to problem solve. Like, he's bothered when he can't figure something out, and he is gonna keep trying until he does. But sometimes it's something that he's just too young for. Sometimes it's something he's too little for. the other day, so when I put my drill away, my drill, like, for drilling things, I always take the battery out just as a precaution, because the safety is pretty easy to pop off, and to press off, and I just want the precaution of if Loki ever gets into it that he's safe. And so the other day he discovered my tool bag, and because I knew that it was safe for him and I was watching him closely, I let him explore it. And he pulls out my drill, and he immediately gets frustrated that he can't make it work. And he is like yelling for me to help him, and I'm like, you got a drill, but I'm not gonna help you. Like, he has this little toy drill that has batteries, and like it even spins when you depress the trigger. So he knows how drills work. He's seen me use one, and then we got him this toy one. But he wanted the real thing in this moment. And of course, this is a time when I have to say, no, we're not doing that. So when he realized I wasn't going to help him, he went back to the tool bag and dug around in there. And next thing I know, he has found the battery for the drill, and he's trying to put the battery on the base of the drill, and he's got it turned the proper direction, and he's just young enough that he cannot apply sufficient pressure to put the battery in. And I was just like, you're 15 months old. How are you this smart? And he's like yelling at me for help, like, help me put this battery in so I can use this power tool. And I'm just like, man, I guess I have to keep that completely out of reach for you now. It's definitely catching me off guard. So yeah, those moments I'm just like, you know what, I'm just so proud of you for how smart you are. Really, like, does my parent heart proud. And at the same time, some days I'm just like, can you please just slow down and stop trying to problem solve this so I can just have a few moments of not needing to actively help you. And again, it's not because I don't want to interact with him. It's because when it's like every single minute for hours on end, then you're going, hang on, I need to eat, I need to pee, I need to have like a mental break, even if it's just a little scrolling Facebook to have some stupid meme pop into my head, or just like to see what some friends are up to. Like, I need to know that there is life outside of, trying to get a balance bike over a step, or, trying to stop him from getting into stuff that's going to not be safe for him. His latest thing is he just wants to be in the road. I was, taking him out of the house really helps because he loves to run around and explore. But he's kind of explored a lot of things in our local area, and I think the road is kind of like the final frontier for him. So I initially thought, well, as long as he's holding my hand and I'm checking for cars, then yeah, we can cross the street as many times as he wants. And initially that's what we did for it was at least 2 hours straight the first time. I don't know what the neighbors think. But, I'm just constantly checking for cars. But the thing is, he doesn't want to hold my hands. He feels it's limiting. And so he's complaining and trying to let go of my hands, and I'm like, you have to hold my hand if you're going to cross the street. But now, he's done with crossing the street. He wants to stand in the middle of the street and then tries to let go of my hands. And he wants to go halfway across the street and then turn back around. Or he wants to travel with the street. That was a new one today. He wants to, walk down the middle of the street. And I'm, being really positive and, trying to redirect him. Like, oh, look at that cool thing over there. Let's go there. And no, he knows what he wants. He wants to walk down the middle of the street, damn it, and why am I stopping him from having his fun? And I'm just like, kid, I am trying so hard to accommodate you. I want to give you all the freedom in the world. Unfortunately, running around in the middle of the street without holding my hands is not going to be one of them. And, my mom has said something that I really like, that really stuck with her when she was raising me. And that was, say no as little as possible. And I really like that because I feel like there's already enough times that I have to, be the parent and tell him no. Sometimes I can just redirect it. I don't always have to say the words no or whatnot, but, setting boundaries. So we signed Loki up for this co-op thing. It's just once a week for a couple hours, and I thought it would be kind of like Montessori style, lots of play and, socializing and kind of just self-directed exploration of an educational environment. And it turns out it's a lot of everyone get in line because we're going to do the next activity, and we're not going to do it until everyone's in line. We're waiting patiently, and it's 2 hours long, and the activities only last a few minutes before they switch. And Loki sees no point to waiting in line, obviously. Or everyone needs to sit down quietly on the bench, and we're not going to start washing our hands before snack until everyone's sitting quietly on the bench. And it's he's 15 months old. I don't care about him learning this right now. Yes, it's valuable to learn structure, but I feel like he's way too young for that sort of thing. And I've noticed that I feel like for a lot of the other parents, and even for the teacher, it's they're trying to ingrain in the kids the importance of following directions. It's you will explore your world in the manner that I want you to. You will do it in the prescribed way. No, the way that you want to do it is not correct. Let me teach you the correct way to learn these things. And that really bothers me a lot. Because I feel like that undermines the kids' trust in themselves. The kids' trust in following their own curiosity. And I feel like it really dampens their spirit. Kids this young, okay, maybe if you really, really want to do the waiting in line thing, make it fun for them, which, to their credit, I've seen them do once or twice, yay, we'll all hold on to the rope, or we'll all be a choo-choo train, but for the most part, it's kind of presented as a bit of a power struggle. No, you have to get back in line. No, we're not doing the fun thing anymore. We're going to do this thing. You're going to learn this. feel like anyone can learn to stand in line at any time in their lives. You could theoretically never stand in line until your 20s, and then it could be like, oh, this is what I have to do in order to, check out in groceries. I guess I have to stand in line. And you're capable of, reading the room and seeing what other people are doing, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll get in line. You can do that at any point in your life. You can learn it at age 10. You can learn it at age 18. Like, it really doesn't matter. He's 15 months old. He's barely over 1 year old. He doesn't need to learn to stand in line right now. So, I don't know if we're going to stick with this co-op. I love the idea of Montessori school, but when I looked into it, it was like, so it starts at age 3, so for one thing, he's just too young. But I was trying to plan ahead, and it's like, oh yeah, this is only $570 a month. I was like, yeah, that's pretty close to, actually it's a little more than we currently live off of to pay our bills, which is very low, but that's the level of income that we currently have. So obviously we cannot spend it entirely on his schooling. So I'm excited. It's just bringing me back to wanting to share about getting off of welfare, because I'm really excited to see where the next chapter of my life goes, and I want to get better at documenting it on videos, on YouTube with videos, because videos are popping into my feed of Loki a year ago, and I'm seeing like our house in the background from a year ago, and I'm seeing myself a year ago, and it's just so fun to see how we've grown since, and how our house has changed since, and of course how Loki has changed since. And I'm kind of just really appreciating how fun it is to have video to look back on and to document my own journey. Even just for my own personal enrichment, it's just really fun to be like, oh yeah, that's where I was at, and then here's where I'm at now. So I'm looking forward to it. I get really happy every time I think about what's around the corner for me, and that's kind of new. I always need to maintain some hope, and it's just been such a grind with how Loki has consumed, my nights, my days. It's way more than a full-time job with overtime. It's more than 80 hours a week. It's relentless. And having a goal that's outside of him is really good for my mental health right now. And of course, that goal of bringing in enough income for us to get off of welfare is also just going to improve our lives in a myriad of ways. So I'm hopeful, and I'm excited, and I can't wait to do more.